Hi everyone, it's me, and I'm hoping you can hear me because Caroline said whatever you do, don't forget to turn the mic on before the end of the video. Well, I arrived here with only seconds left on the video and I'd forgotten to turn the mic on. But I have turned the mic on, the light is on, so hopefully somebody at some point is going to say we can see you and we can hear you. That would be a brilliant start to the evening. But assuming you can hear me, let me just say it's wonderful to be here with you tonight. And I'm looking forward to the hour and to keeping in touch with everyone and seeing hello, all's good. That's it. Yes, he can hear you. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. The thing is, we've got this really fancy mic. It's got the word blue on it and it's about that tall. It looks really clever. But the button on the front, when you press it, it doesn't like to switch on. You've got to keep pressing and pressing. So that's why there was a bit of a panic there. It's been total mania here for the last hour or so because I mentioned in the chat yesterday that I would try and load up a few pictures from our holiday because we've just been to France. And we made the decision not to take the GoPro, not to do any filming, just to try and have a bit of shutdown and a bit of a break. But we did take some photos, a couple of which I posted over on Facebook and one or two over on Ko-fi. But I've got some pictures here tonight, and in my endeavour to upload photos, which I was so proud of being able to do, I managed to lose all the jingles, I lost the countdown, everything just vanished. And to say that even between myself and Caroline, we are semi-literate when it comes to OBS, that would be overstating our capacity in this field. But we've done it, sort of, but everything's in the wrong place. I've got to do all different things to make it work, but I have got it, and we have got the chat. A couple of people saying they didn't make it last night. Lexi was saying gutted that she missed last night. I noticed, I think it was who was painting this shed? I did see somebody painting the shed. I think that was our friend from Down Under. I think that was Linda that was painting the shed. Yeah, just making some breakfast to sit down. There we go. It's so different in the world, isn't it? Some people are making their breakfast and other people are thinking, when this hour's over, I'm going to have a cup of cocoa and go to bed. So, hi to everyone. Brilliant you've joined us, and I'm sure it's going to be a good night. What a video. What fun we had on that particular day and that outing as we just discovered that plethora of pipes and pipe stems. And again, I want to reiterate our gratitude to the bottle diggers in that part of the world for being so generous in their methods, because they don't only just leave things for us, but they even, on a previous video, you remember we found the earthenware proving bowl with all the bits and pieces in, and this time there was the busted marmalade pot with just so many pipe stems. I've got some to show you tonight, but there were just too many to clean up and have here in time. But first thing I've got to do is check who was first in tonight. Having read some of the apologies for last night, let's have a look. Oh gosh, you've been chatting for the last 10 minutes, folks. I've got a long way to go. Well, according to my list, top of the list, the first person to say hi all was Bonnie Tyler Fan 34. Was followed by a reply hi from West Country Mudlarks, and the third hi came in from Rachel Bailey. So there we go. First in the room were Bonnie Tyler Fan, West Country Mudlarks and Rachel Bailey. They were the first three in tonight. Quickly followed by Lexi B, Sam's Truck Spotting, and Peggy Reed and Karen. But top of the list, as I say, Bonnie Tyler Fan 34, West Country Mudlarks, Rachel Bailey. There we go. So that gives you your first positions of the night, pole positions, first, second and third. But there'll be a few more first, second and thirds because we have got a quiz tonight, as well as some happy news, as well as, hopefully, fingers crossed, I have not seen how these are going to appear on your screen. I haven't got a clue. I don't know if I'll end up with half a picture or whether it'll be in the middle of the screen. I am not technically minded, but I did want to share a little bit of France with you all and a bit of what we've been up to. So there we go. Great to see Ed in tonight with the Hispana, because Ed hasn't been too well. Feeling a bit under the weather, I think, Ed. So great that you're with us tonight. Hope you're on the mend, buddy, and hope you're feeling stronger and better soon. Of course, I'm not expecting to see our other spanner in tonight. Oh yes, Phyllis is, yeah, there we go. Phyllis, I was not expecting you tonight. Great that you're able to join us. Fantastic, because Phyllis has been busy at the hospital, so it's good to see her with us tonight. There we go. I have sound, Karen says, which is good news. So, rightio, we've done the first three. Now let's get started by seeing if my first jingle works. Okay, there we go. I'm going to click on this and see what happens, because if it works, it'll introduce our first question. Well, there we go. It worked on my end. I could see the dancing night with question time written on it. Hopefully it worked on your side as well, and hopefully the jingle played, because I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased with that, and now I can see myself on the screen, which is how it should be. So right, question. That's what we said we'd do. I tell you what, somewhere on here, that's all right, I can see where it is. I was thinking then I've lost happy news, but I can see where it is now. That's fine. Okay. Tonight, although I've got one or two of the other finds, as we said, it was predominantly pipe bowls, some rather complete pipes, and an awful lot of pipe stems. So at the end of the video yesterday, we described it as a very much a super pipe day. So all of our questions tonight, I think, apart from the famous final question, which will be regarding Mankey himself, all of our questions are derived from the theme of pipes, smoking pipes. So every question tonight will be based on smoking pipes, thereby simply linking all of the questions to our finds in the video this week, because what an amazing time we had. So here we go. First question. In 2017, a company created a pipe called the Smoking Dragon, and it was priced at $85,000. Now, when you think these were literally given away, thrown away, they were seen as a disposable item, this is not, because it was embellished with 47 black and white diamonds, 38 rubies, and 6 sapphires. Now this is a working pipe. If you have a mind to, you could smoke from this. Wouldn't recommend it really, not at $85,000. My question is, where was the company based that made this super expensive Smoking Dragon pipe? Was it A, based in India, B, based in China, or C, based in Russia? Go! So if you think the $85,000 pipe that was made with all those jewels in 2017 was made in India, that's A, China, B, Russia, C. Where do you think it all took place? We've got the answers starting to come in now. Ooh, yes, and I can see A's, B's and C's. So the good news is someone is going to be right. That's always positive. Let's have a look here. Right. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh. Right. Very good. Very good indeed. Well, if my eyes do not deceive me, whilst there are quite a lot of answers in, There seem to be only 2 correct answers, because the answer is Russia. No, the only thing that would perhaps tip you towards Russia is when you think of Russia's history for making things such as the Fabergé eggs. So they have got a reputation for that fine artwork within the nation. But 2 people I can see tip that way. The first of them, and I dare say there may be a third at the bottom of the list now, because I know just how quick and crafty you all are. But I'll tell you now, gold podium. She did so well last one a month ago, and she's off again tonight. Rachel Bailey. Rachel, well done. You were the first one to go with Russia. Then, as I go down, the lady I didn't expect to see her tonight, the lady with the spanner, our Phyllis Williams, went C, which is Russia. So that's silver for Phyllis. And Phyllis was, let me have a look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. The 10th answer in, but the second correct answer. And then I'm going down to see how many people put a C in after I told you that all the answers are wrong bar 2. And I can say, sorry to Ian Davis, because you were pipped by that lady who is quick on the button when there's a space available, because it was Lexi got the first C in at the bottom of the list. Well done, Lexi. Sorry, Ian, you get a special mention because you're only the 4th person to get the correct answer, but I do think you may have fed off a little bit of the information I was giving there. So there you go. There we go. Oh, I'm so glad. It's made Phyllis's day. She's not had the best of day, but she certainly made it now. She's got a silver podium, coming in 10th with the second correct answer. So well done there. So it's Rachel, it's Phyllis, and it's Lexi that are taking first, second, and third gold, silver, and bronze. Yeah, that's pretty mad, isn't it? 85,000. But as I say, I don't think, although it is genuinely a pipe, I cannot imagine. Well, who knows? There may be some pipe smoking billionaire out there. I don't know if any of the famous billionaires smoke pipes who would decide they were going to smoke from it. But then again, it wouldn't be recommended because smoking ain't good for you anyway. It was funny because when I was looking at my smoking related questions, there used to be smoking related records in the Guinness Book of Records up until the 1990s, I believe it was. And then he realized it wasn't a good thing to promote things such as how quickly can you smoke a cigarette, or how long can you keep a pipe lit without relighting and smoke it. So those records do stand, but they have been no longer contested because obviously smoking kills and it's very bad for you. So we want to make that clear tonight because we're not recommending smoking, but of course these things that we find are such a joy to come across after 100 years in the ground, even though we would not recommend that anyone was to use them these days. So there we go. $85,000 for a pipe that was made in Russia. And as I say, we had about 15 or so, 20 answers in, but only 4 eventually got it correct. There you go. So well done to you all for having a go. As I say, it's not about coming first, second and third. That's fun. It's about joining in, because if only 3 people joined in, then they were guaranteed a position, but it wouldn't be as much fun to do the quiz. That's for sure. As I say, we've been to France. And what I'm going to put up first now, I'm going to put up a picture of the caravan. Now, I suppose I have to explain this. Caravan, trailer, I'm not sure, it's sort of chalet type thing. We call them caravans. Some people call them mobile homes. There's lots of different phrases around the world, but basically it's got bedrooms, it's got a fitted kitchen, it's got a bathroom with a shower and all the facilities. But it is technically towable because it does stand on two little wheels about this size, which are basically to tow it onto the back of a low loader so it can be delivered. But it's a park home, whatever you want to call them. And hopefully this is going to be a picture of the way we stayed. So here we go. Did it come up? Yes, there we go. There's our car. There's our sun loungers. And there in the background is the unit that we were staying in. Now, you may notice on this picture that the hedge has not been trimmed. And that's not how it always was. There was a time at this park when they were pie hot and everything was done, the lawns were done, the hedges were done. New ownership have taken over, then new ownership has taken over. Big company owns it now, whereas originally when we went there it was owned by a family who lived in the big house next door to the park. Now it's owned by a major firm, and of course they have different ways of doing things. And they haven't got to clip in the edges yet, but we didn't mind because it meant that when we stood on our veranda we had the view, but when we sat down at our table to eat outside, no one passing by could see us. So that was great fun. So we didn't mind that. If we'd gone and asked, could you clip our edge, they would have. But we decided not to ask, because that way, now I've got some lines on my picture. I don't know if they're on yours, but I don't know how to make them go away. So we leave them there. I said about the view from our caravan. Here we go, folks. This is the view from the caravan. There you are. That's the view from the caravan. That's the caravan door on the left as I look at it. And as you look out, you can see the roof of our car. And then you can see we're looking now from behind the hedge out across the green. And in the distance there's one of the 4 lakes that they have there. There are 4 lakes. Now, each time I put one of these up, it's leaving lines. This is going to be interesting. By the end of the night, I'm going to be surrounded by lines, which should be really weird. But they've got a small lake opposite where we were. Just to the right, there's another lake, which is surrounded by sand, so the children can play on a beach. Then over to the left, there's another large fishing lake. And then down to our right, where we stay, there is the original park. Because when we originally went to this place 30 years ago to stay, well, possibly more than that now, but over to about 30 years ago, there was only one lake. It has grown so vast. There are hundreds and hundreds more units now and 3 more lakes. And I can show you a picture of the original lake. There we go. That's the view of the original lake. That's on the park where we stay. They go carp fishing in there, and there are usually fishermen sat all around it. And they have a great time. It's not my thing. I'm not into fishing myself, but I know a lot of the fellas that go down there, and some of the ladies as well, in fairness, enjoy that. So that's a beautiful view of the lake, and we enjoyed going out in the evenings and taking a stroll around the lakes. Just have a little drink a moment. I haven't been 100%, so my voice is a little bit dry, so I brought a drink down this evening, so sorry to interrupt with taking a drink. But yeah, we go for a walk in the evenings, and we could walk for 40 minutes strolling just around the circumference of the park and around the lakes. So we would head around the top lake, go down past the tents, down past the units, down past the mini golf and the play area, and then on down through the terraces and then around the bottom of the lake and back up. And we did that most evenings because the weather was very kind to us. Very kind indeed. 90% of the time the sun shone and it was lovely. Lovely indeed. So that's a few pictures. Now let's do a find before I go to my next question. And here is the blue bottle, which I noticed while doing the intro to the video. As I was doing the intro, I spotted this down on the ground, and then I ran down to pick it up because we really, 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 really find blue. and for us, that chip is of no consequence because that's about as good. Well, I say we rarely find blue. We do find the milk and magnesia bottles. This one has Allen and Hanbury's. I believe it says on there. Allen and Hanbury's, I believe that says. On the side is embossed there. I didn't have time to check up what they produce, but nice to find some blue glass. And of course, we also picked up a bottle stopper, which is always nice to find, little glass bottle stopper there. So there we go. Now then, let's have a look. Where's my little question logo? Let's put that up. There we go. That worked. I don't know what them lines are for, but I don't even know if they're showing up on your screen. Have you all got lines on there? Have you? Yeah, there we are. West Country Red Lights, like our blue bottle. Anybody notice, because on mine I've got numbers and red lines and everything now because I'm putting pictures up, but it may just be on my OBS screen and not broadcasting to you. Hope it is, because otherwise if you're watching on TV you're going to have some rather big lines. Okay folks, get ready for this one. I think there are those out there that will know the answer. There's going to be less guessing and more correct answers on this one. But remember, don't put your letter in until I say go. Oh, there we go. Not seeing any lines. Oh, thank goodness for that, because mine is all of a grid. I've got 296, 196px, 10px, red lines here, then red blue lines. So, oh, wonderful. That's great. That's great. Okay, so I think there's those out there that will know this, but remember, wait until I say go before you enter your answer. Which famous detective smoked a pipe and played the violin? A. Hercule Poirot, B. Sherlock Holmes, or C. Jules Maigret? Go. Who do you think it is? Do you think it was Hercule Poirot? That's A. Did he smoke a pipe and play a violin? Was it Sherlock Holmes? Did he smoke a pipe and play a violin? Or Jules Maigret? Did he, the French detective, did he smoke a pipe and play a violin? What are we going with? Oh, I tell you what. We seem to have a uniform sense of agreement on it. Oh, somebody being different. It's good to be different. There we go. Oh, I thought this one was going to draw in a few answers, and it has. Well. Tina, you can't go E. You meant B. Okay. Righto. Well, we got lots of answers in, folks. And looking down the list, only one person has not put B. And I think that's because Jason doesn't trust me. He's like my wife. He does not trust me. He thinks, I'm sure the answer is going to be different. But Phil would not have made it that easy. And of course, Jules Maigret is famous as a detective in his own right, but also was used as the man who challenged Poirot. And in the challenge, Maigret was famous for his pipe, and Poirot was famous for his moustache. And he said he would give him his pipe if he solved the case, and he would shave off his moustache if he solved it. So the pipe is a big part. That's why I included the violin, which made it, of course, Sherlock Holmes. And congratulations to everybody else. Now, do you know what? I don't know if it's... Check your battery is not low. The interesting thing is, I don't think that's what's causing the lines, but well said, because I have not brought my lead down and plugged it in. So I'm going to tell you the top three. And then I'm going to run and get my lead, because my battery is going to run out very shortly. Here we go. Number 1, gold podium for Peggy Reid. Well done, Peggy. And, well, Jason didn't do too well. And you've got the silver podium. And Carlin Scott, you've got the bronze. And a close run in place, in 4th place was Phyllis. But it's Peggy, Anne and Carlin. You've got the 1st, 2nd and 3rd, gold, silver and bronze. Now, I'm going to put up a picture for you a moment while I run and get my lead. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. And I'll tell you what, I'll just pop up a picture of one of the brocantes that we went to. I'll tell you what, yeah. There we go. I'll put up a picture of the brocante and I will be back in a moment. There we go. That's one of the brocantes we visited. I will be back now, folks. Oh, hang on. I'm knocking everything over. Ah. Right. Let's go and get my lead, quick. I will be back. Do not go away. I'm on my way. Right, I'm back. I'm on my way back, folks. I'm on my way back. Here we go. If I take that picture up. That's what I love about the brocante. See, I just want to get me lead. I'm just going to plug it in a moment. There we go. The beautiful thing about the brocantes is that you really get a sense of French life, French culture, and you see so many places because in that particular picture, as you can see, the church was just in the background. Sometimes you're out in, we went to a rugby stadium in one town. Some towns, the actual town itself closes down, which is useful because as you go along, when you come to one of the bakeries, very often they're still open and they put tables outside and they're selling baguettes and croissants and all sorts on the street. It's really good fun. We love doing it. But of course, when we're there, Caroline does like to buy things. So big thank you to West Country Mudlarks for having the idea about, because my lines are still there. I think what it is, when I put a photo up, it is put in the outer lines, and then when I take it down, it leaves them there. But that's not a problem as long as it's not bothering you people. But yeah, there we go. Caroline does like to buy things when she's out in these places. And I've got to be honest, her primary goal this time, because she had something in mind, was to buy French vintage fabric. But she did end up buying an item that was not on her list. And I have to be honest, she did not think I was going to get it in the car. I will show you now. Because Caroline bought one of those. A cast iron treadle Singer sewing machine. Table. There's no machine on it. And the tabletop was delaminated and damaged. So I removed that, keeping the original screws, because what people love to do these now is to set a piece of board on them and make them into a table. So I've kept the original screws so that we can do that and convert that into a table. Now, those sell between 100 and 150 pounds in the UK. That was on the back of a trailer for 15 euros. So it just couldn't stay there. It had to come home with us. Caroline said, you will never get it in the car. Let me just show you now. that when we bought it, the chap was so relieved that someone had bought it that he actually helped us to get it back to the car. There he is. That is the stall holder. He went around round the corner somewhere, picked up a trolley, came back, put it on the trolley, and there he is, following Caroline back to the car, which was parked about 200-300 yards away, and then we loaded that into the back of the car. So that was absolutely a fantastic find. We had seen one earlier in the holiday, and it was big money. And then when Caroline saw that one for €15, that's around about £13. And they sell for £100 to £150. So it was just a no-brainer. Somehow it was going to fit in the car. And whilst my skills are limited, I am not great with technology and other things. If there's one thing I can do, folks, is pack a van or pack a car. I can get things in. And she was so pleased because we brought that back home with us. But it wasn't just the Brockhants we went to. We also went to a place called, well, it's a farm that is run by a charity called Emmaus House. You may have heard of Emmaus House. They do a lot of charitable work with the homeless. And they run a farm where they bring people in who are on the streets, and they help them and they rehabilitate them back and they get them homes to live in. And this farm has been converted into a giant charity shop. There we go. That's an image from halfway up the stairs in one of the barns. So I'm halfway up the stairs and I've turned back. You can see the entranceway out there. You can see all the stuff out in the yard. There must be about 12 outbuildings in total that are full of stuff. And we went there, and it was in that place that Caroline bought her fabric. And as you can see here, I was the willing helper. That's some of the fabric Caroline picked up. I think in total there's 3 in my hand there, and I'm pretty sure she bought 25 pieces of fabric that size. We really did have a lot of... Luckily, we took a lot of food with us, which we ate, which made room for what we brought back. So eating the food created more space for coming back. But that was us at Emmaus House, fabric shopping. But we didn't just go fabric shopping. We also bought something else, which I can show you. Because here, this is in the upstairs. As I was climbing those stairs and I took the photograph going back, this is in the upstairs room. This is where they keep a lot of the glass and china, dinner sets and such like. Now, in the foreground there, you can see a set of Pyrex plates. I believe there were 10 Pyrex side plates with the rose leaf pattern on. Now, years ago, Caroline and I both remember that patterned Pyrex when we were children at home. So we decided that every time we saw a piece, if we could use it, we would add it. And we have built up quite a set over the years. We've got all our dinner plates, we've got mixing bowls, we've got cereal bowls, we've got... but we didn't have that size side plate. So we got the 10 of those. I think it was €8 for the 10 of them. I think it was either €5 or €8 for the 10 of them. So we took the photo and I sent the photo to our children saying, oh, you know, Mum's been shopping again as she bought stuff and we picked up these plates. And our youngest sent a message, oh, I like the plates behind with the fish on. If you want to buy me a present. So we had to buy the fish plates as well in order to get a present for our youngest. But they were, as you can see, it's quite a place. It's down near Soissons. And if ever you're in that part of France, if you look up Soissons Emmaus House Farm, it'll come up. And they're open, I believe, on Wednesdays and Saturdays. They are trialing Mondays now, but I know they're open Wednesdays and Saturdays. So, I think we'll do some happy news, as long as I can find the jingle. Here we go. Try this. And to go alongside the Emmaus House, giant thrift store, farm-sized with about a dozen big buildings, I've got a story from associated with a much smaller thrift store. And it's under the title, Big-Hearted Thrift Store Shopper. From Canada comes the story of a lost family heirloom finding its way home in the most bizarre series of circumstances. Kelly Brown, a member of the Aurora Post of the Royal Canadian Legion, sat at her home last week in shock, staring at what appeared to be a black and white photograph of her grandparents smiling out from inside of a locket or a Facebook post. The post's author, Alison Ann, said she had found and bought the locket at a thrift shop after recognising the man in the photo was connected to the Royal Canadian Air Force. It was actually a picture of him and his wife, and he was in his uniform, and he had received his medals for service during the Second World War. And this lady, Alison, wanted to know if anyone had a clue of the original owner and who these people were. A simple, selfless act that against all odds paid off. I'm still mesmerised. I'm still in shock. Yeah, I'm like, it's not for real. I had to ask people, are these my grandparents? And then I discovered I had the same pictures in my old photo album. And I'm just in awe, said Kelly. So what I loved about this story, sometimes we hear the stories of somebody discovers something themselves. But Alison went into a thrift shop, saw the locket, saw the pictures inside, realised there was a connection with the Canadian Air Force, and thought to herself, this belongs to someone. There's got to be someone out there who would love to cherish this as a heirloom. So she buys it with the full intention of putting it on Facebook, tracking the owners, and returning it back. Now that's something I love. Some years ago we had the idea of doing that as a YouTube series, Carol and myself, finding things in auctions and other places and then restoring them back. We did have a situation when we were big in reselling, that we found a stack of pictures, paintings, draftsman's drawings and all the rest, and we'd sold quite a few. And then a lady got in touch and she said, those are my dad's drawings and paintings. And it turned out that when they did the house clearance, all of his pictures and paintings, they didn't know they were there. They would have just packed away boxes in the attic or wherever. They didn't discover them. And they'd gone to house clearance and we bought them in. And we were able to return quite a substantial number of those. The ones they wanted, they didn't want it all. They wanted particular things that they remembered. And we were able to return those back to the family, which was great. But this lady bought the locket, put up the post. This girl sees it and thinks, they don't half look like my grandparents, and then discovers she's got the exact same photos in an old album that had been miniatured and put into the locket. I thought that on so many levels was a lovely story. And hopefully, bit of good news, happy news. And that's from Canada. Well, I'm going to get in trouble if we don't get all the questions done. So I'm going to go back to the question jingle. There we go. Question time. Again, it's a pipe-related question. Peterson's claim to be the oldest continuously operating briar pipe factory in the world. And on their website, they boast a legacy of craftsmanship dating back over 150 years. Where is their factory? Is it A, in Scotland, B, in England, or C, in Ireland? Go. Where do you think the Peterson's factory has been producing Briar pipes for over 150 years continuously and are still producing them today. Where do you think they're based? Do you think that the company is in A, Scotland, B, England, or C, Ireland? Oh, okay. Lots and lots of answers coming in. Yep, let's have a look. Oh, there we go. Whoa. Well, there's a few answers in, and I can assure you there are quite a number of correct ones too. Not as many correct ones as last time, but I would say probably well over 50% have got it right. And I can tell you now that the first 4 answers in were correct because they went with C, Ireland. That's where the Peterson's factory has been based for over 150 years, making briar pipes, and are still producing them to this day. Okay, so we know the first 4 were correct, but who were the first 3 of those 4? Well, I can tell you the gold podium is going to Lisa Sage. The silver podium is going to Rachel Bailey. And Carlin Scott is back taking a podium position at bronze. And a special mention because we had 4 in a row, and they came in so quick. We're talking nanoseconds. Peggy Reed gets a special mention for coming in such a close 4th. But the top answers go to Lisa, Rachel, and Carlin. You got C, Ireland. So there we go. Now, we've got quite a lot. I brought down a selection of some of the pipes we picked up. This one because it is got so much stem on it. Again, this is another one with a fair bit of stem on it. That's one of the longest ones we found. I believe this one was the very first one we found. Somebody had poked it in the ground and Caroline lifted it out. This one, I'm just impressed by the size on that. Can you see the width on the actual pipe stem itself? That was quite a chunk of a pipe, that. It's got some initials. I think it's WMC just written there. If you can pick that up. Just below my thumbnail. There are a few initials. WHC. There we go. A couple of initials on there. But here in this little, now the jury's still out. This is dished completely. Now it will sit fairly flat in the hand, but if you put it down on a flat surface, it spins because the dish goes down and there's very little flat surface. It's got what would have been a small ring, I think, to hold it, and we've one suggestion that came in, and quite a good suggestion, I think. They said never seen one in pottery, so possibly not right, but suggested, now I may say this wrong, a chwech, which I believe is a vessel for drinking whiskey in Scotland. Now whether they were ever made in ceramic, I don't know, but that's there. And I've just put these in because these are the ones that have the more interesting patterns on them. There we go, there's a boot there, look, all the way around, that's patterned. And if you can see just on the top there, there's, sure what that is. It's an emblem of some kind, which would have been repeated on the other side, but is been chipped off. So that's quite a regal looking one for a disposable item. This one has a striker on the side, the shape of a diamond striker, and on the back it says TW. So that's another one that had some markings on it. We got a Dublin pipe, as we said. They're not always from Dublin. What that says, hang on. Now, without being in any way political, right? I'd seen it was a Dublin pipe, but I hadn't seen that before. But I don't know if it's going to pick up for me on there. No, it's not going to go, is it? Oh, there you go. If you can see on there, Dublin Free Trade. That's what it says on there. Dublin Free Trade Protected, I think it says. But it's just with all the news at the moment about tariffs and trade deals and goodness knows what, I just thought it was quite humorous that that should say Dublin Free Trade. And I do not recall, has anyone else come across one of those with the words free trade on it? Because I'm 99.9% sure I've never seen that before. There we go. Dublin Free Trade. So, and then I've got two here which are the same pipe, because you got the gentleman's head on that side. Remember him? He's been around a few times. We've seen him once or twice. He looks a bit like an image of Charles Dickens or someone of that, because they all look very similar in our era. But then the clue is on the other side, because there you've got tall ships, and of course the tall ship on there is because this gentleman was synonymous with the Liverpool-Manchester Canal, and these were made to commemorate that canal. So there we go. There's a few of the pipes, and like I say, this interesting looking vessel, which, as I said, if it had been flat on the bottom with a ring on it, I would have said it held a candle. You know, carry it with your finger, little candle in there, but there's nothing there. It doesn't seem to do that. So jury's still out, but interesting suggestions. There we go. So I thought I'd show you those because they were some of the more interesting items. Okay, well, seeing as everyone did so well on the last question, let's see how you do on the next one. What we got here? Oh, so never seen so many pipes. My seat is sinking. I'm sinking. Come back up. There you go. I could feel myself slowly disappearing. Never seen so many pipes. West Country Mudlarks. I tell you what, it's funny for us these days because, of course, we were mudlarking for probably over a year before we found our first pipe. And we found that when we took our first trip up to visit Tom up in Yorkshire. And fair play, them Yorkshire folks, they didn't half like to smoke their tobacco back in the day. And we were just blown away by the amount in this particular area and the generosity of those who'd left them. Because, of course, broken pipes have no, even a whole pipe doesn't have great value, but a broken pipe has no real value. So they just left them for us, which is brilliant. There we go. The French use large breakfast cups. Maybe one of those. There we go. Okay. Let's get another question done before I end up running out of time. Okay. Tobacco pipes have been around for 3,000 years, but not in Europe, as there was no tobacco in Europe until Columbus returned. In which century did he introduce tobacco to the European continent? Was it the 14th century, A, the 15th century, B, or the 16th century, C? Go. Right, if you know your history, have a think. When did Christopher Columbus come back to Europe and bring with him some tobacco plants and introduce the concept of smoking to the European continent? Was it in the 14th century, that's A, the 15th century, B, or the 16th century? Oh, now, all the historian buffs are going for this one. They're thinking, yes, 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 my chance for glory. Oh, lots and lots of answers. And A's, B's and C's coming in. So, right. Well, let's have a look here. Okie dokie. Well, we have got a variety of answers. But again, I would say about half have got it right. Sadly, the first two didn't get it right because they went with the 14th century. But then, the first person with the correct answer was Lisa Sage, who went with 15th century B. Well done, Lisa. It was the 15th century. I'll tell you why there may have been people going in all directions here in a moment. Followed by Ian Davis, who also went B. And, once more, Carlin Scott went B. Quickly followed by Ribble Finds and Crafts, Lexi B, Peggy Reed, Tina Thompson, all in a row going B. So I'll give you a mention, but first, second and third, gold, silver and bronze go to Lisa, Ian and Carlin. Now, the reason there may be some confusion is because he actually returned in 1493, which was 7 years inside the 15th century, 7 years before the start of the 16th century, and, of course, very often I find myself kind of confused by the fact that although we're in 2025, we're in the 21st century. So the 1400 can throw people off. So with dates, it's always complicated. But best way to go, if you're not sure, is down the middle. And on this time, it paid off. And it certainly paid off for our three winners, Lisa, Ian and Carlin. Well done. Okay. On the finds, we have two little pots. One with a lip. And another little pot, blackened pot, in pretty good nick. So I picked those up. They didn't look much when I brought them over because Caroline had found millions of pipe stems and pipes. But another thing Caroline found, and on the dump, she queried whether this was Vaseline glass because of the colour there. I don't know if it's showing as well now, but it has got that luminous green colouring. But examining it, we think it's possibly more to do with the liquid that was contained, which has coated it, rather than the glass itself. But that's our opinion at the moment. And the liquid that was in there was Hair Restorer, I believe. Yep, it was World Hair Restorer. So there we go. I got to be honest, if that was the colour of it and it looked like that, I'd be a bit worried about sticking it on my head. But there we are, World Hair Restorer, folks. If you want some, I don't know where you'd get it these days, but it was in those days made by M&S. I think it's... No, I can't quite read it. Let's try it up on the camera because sometimes it comes out clearer for you. No, because of all the damage on there, it's hard to see. Oh, there we go. I can tell you one thing. It's Hair Restorer and it's from New York. So that bottle has come a fair way. There we go. Hair Restorer from New York. Bit different. Okay. Well, we've got 6 minutes to go and I've got another piece of happy news to share with you. So I'm going to do that now. Yeah, I think you're right, Peggy. I think it has distorted and caused a problem on the thing. Yeah, Rachel Bailey said quack cure. Yeah, and of course they used to sell all kinds of things, didn't they, back in those days? You know, and to be honest, man, we say back in those days, have you seen some of the rubbish they'll sell you on the internet these days? So I suppose at the end of the day, we've still got the villains will always be with us. There we go. Another bit of happy news. Another link to charity, but this one under the title, Dairy Provides 4 Million Meals. A family-run dairy business has reached a significant milestone this week. Muller UK and Ireland donated the equivalent of 4 million meals throughout its partnership with Fair Share to support low-income people across the UK by transforming surplus food into vital meals. Fair Share is the UK's largest food redistribution charity, handing out good-to-eat surplus food and donations from the food industry to a network of over 8,500 charities and community groups. From hospices to food pantries to homeless shelters, Muller's consistent donations of quality dairy products like milk and yogurts are helping ensure that no good food goes to waste. To give you an idea of their reach, 3 years ago, Fair Share redistributed the equivalent of 128 million meals. That's 4 meals every second, diverting 55,000 tonnes of food that would have ended up in a landfill site and resulting in 95,000 tonnes of CO2 emissions being stopped. They said that they hope the Muller milestone will spark more actions by the food industry to fight hunger and reduce waste. That's a very much a win-win scenario. It's almost criminal that for decades the food industry has generated in such a way. We all want to go into supermarkets and see shelves full of food. But in order to keep the shelves full of food, eventually that food is reaching a point where it will soon not be saleable. And what used to happen was it went into landfill by millions of tons, just went into landfill, just got thrown away. So the farmer would produce it, he would bring it to the market would bring it into the supermarkets would sell it, and this cycle was going on, and somebody realized you need to do something about it. And Fair Share are one of those organizations who decided to step into the line and say, well, look, rather than you put it into landfill, which is a problem for society itself and costly, what if you give it to us and we'll redistribute it to people that can use it and need it? And the result is that through their partnership, Muller UK have served to create 4 million meals. But what amazing numbers to think that 55,000 tonnes of food was diverted from landfill and has been ate by people who are struggling to make ends meet in the cost of living crisis that's around us. 128 million meals Fair Share have produced. Absolutely mind-boggling. The numbers are hard to take in, but I think we get the sentiment of the story. And it just takes someone with the idea and the will to do it. I read the other day that one of our ex-Prime Ministers, Gordon Brown, he has set up a charity where this works with food. He went to major companies like Amazon and others, and they get a lot of returns, and it does not, this is mad, but if you return an item for major companies, taking that back into stock, checking it, repackaging it and putting it back out is not cost effective. Their profit margin doesn't permit it. So a lot of that stuff gets thrown away. Not anymore, because the charity that Gordon Brown, the ex-Prime Minister, set up and works for, they bring people together, and now a lot of those goods are appearing in thrift stores all around the UK and are being sold in order to raise money for worthy causes such as heart research, hospices, homeless shelters, Barnardo's and other places. So it's wonderful when people just look at the situation and say, we could do this better and make things better for people too. And it's a win-win, and I love those win-win situations. I absolutely do. Well, our time is slipping away, folks, and it's 10 o'clock, so I'm going to have to switch directly to the last question of the night. All right, everyone, are you ready? Because we're about to ask that question that comes at the end of every show. Okie doke. How many places did you see Mankey in this week's video? Go. How many places did you see Mankey in this week's video? Remember now, not how many times, but how many places. So he may have appeared twice in the exact same place. In fact, he did. Because at the beginning, we did the intro, and then I commented on the bottle after we done the Let's Go, and Mankey was still in the same place. So where do you think he was? How many times do you think he was there? We got lots of answers coming. Mankey, lots of people are answering your question, buddy. All right, you doing all right? You all right? About? Okay. And decided to admit I only saw one. Okay, folks. The answer is 3. If anyone wishes to dispute that, you can send me a message with your numbers. But number 1, in the tree during the intro. Now, as I said, we cut away and cut back, and he was still in the tree. So some people may have made the mistake of counting that as 2. But he was in the tree. Number 2, and if you got this, you're good. Because I almost missed this one, and I made the video. In the bushes next to me, when Caroline was calling over to me, and I was coming up to meet her to see the pipe stems. That was at 10:35 in the video. If you look on the time check at 10:35, you'll see Mankey right next to me on my right hand side in those bushes. And then finally at 14:57, he was inside my coat when I did the final piece to camera, the end piece. So they are the 3 times that he was seen. So the gold goes to Lisa, the silver goes to Carlin, and the bronze goes to Lexi B. And if I just run down, because there weren't many more 3s, Peggy Reed also got a 3. And I think that was the only one. So well done, Peggy. Special mention for you. But that was the 3 I had. 027, 10:35, 14:57. That's where Mankey starred in this week's video. Well, folks, thanks for being here. Look forward to seeing you at the end of the next month. I'm sure an awful lot will go on between now and then in the world and in our lives. But we're thinking of you. We're so grateful that you were there thinking of us. Keep in touch. Keep in touch with each other through the Facebook and through Ko-fi. And don't forget, most importantly, till we are together again, be sure to have fun. Bye!